Something or
Yeah,
he's got something serious.
Did you see they lost? Now Florida lost Kulikov for 5 months. That's why they grabbed Sabrango off of waivers from Ottawa.
Right.
Like there is an element of like Florida still resting and making sure everybody's kind of healthy. I think I'm 95% sure that both of them will play and be impactful. My whole thing though is this, and I'm in the minority when it comes to it. These guys both. Now Matthews won back-to-back cups. Brady's team has to take another step this year. That's their goal, right? Every team that has got players that are going to the Olympics, the focus should be the players that team that they're coming from that's paying them $1 zillion. Like, that's where, everybody's like, oh, well, what about, you got to make sure the Olympics are protected. How about you make sure your organization's fine first? Like, that's I'm in the minority when it comes to it, but I get frustrated when it's like, oh, well,
Noodles,
make
you
sure
saw
he's
the
good
Four
for the
Nations.
Olympics.
They were doing anything to play in that.
I know. And then you look at there's injuries coming out of there, or guys like struggling. Kachuk got hurt in the Four Nations, and they had to
What
shut
about
him down.
McAvoy? McAvoy was like pissed on
Done
how
for
that
the
was.
year.
Yeah,
That's
Pissed at everyone.
yeah.
You're right, but I guess my point is you still have to take care of your own organization that needs you, that needs those points. But I think
that's
95%.
why I'm low on this. Like, I'm not convinced. They're both of them are going to get there. I think another question is what kind of form they're in, and it's going to be a different style of play, man. I keep saying this. This is not NHL rules. There's no fights off the draw. You're not like some of the hits Brady Kachuk threw in the Four Nations. He will get a 5 in a game over there. Like, they throw guys out for looking at someone the wrong way.
That's true. It's a
They will
softer.
be
Him and his brother
Bruters.
were like WWE in the corners with those hits. Like they were just both jumping in the air and
Yes.
crushing guys.
Exactly, and it was amazing. But it doesn't play that way in the Olympics.
You're so right. Like I remember playing in Japan, and Tyson Nash hit a guy so hard, his helmet went 20 feet in the air. It was a clean hit. The ref blew it down. Nobody knew what to do. They gave him a penalty for hitting the guy too hard.
Yeah.
Can you
Didn't know what to
imagine
do.
some referee, like just some smaller referee from a smaller country,
Europe.
getting a load of those too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Like they would think that he would think that's just the Hanson brothers. It's Slapshot. Like
Right.
it would just be
It would
fascinating.
be crazy. You're right. Like some guy who's from Slovakia or something. And
Never, like, just doesn't really know, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden his eyeballs are popping out of his head in the first period, just watching them crush
them
people.
chew on their mouth guard and destroy people.
Exactly.
25% for me.
Wow.
I'm low on both fronts, like the health and the concern on that front. These are going to be long injuries.
Yeah.
And also just the style of game and where they're at with their game when they get over there. All right, Jerry, what else do you have?
With Burrow and Lamar out of the picture, it's become very clear a non-Big Four QB will win the MVP this season.
All right, so the big four are Burrow, Lamar, Mahomes, Allen. Now, Mahomes and Allen are still playing, but Jerry thinks they ain't winning the MVP this year. So someone outside of those big four is going to win it in the NFL this year.
I'm going to go 75% because you watch, like, you just go through Twitter and you see the clips on any show, any podcast. The word Baker Mayfield is popping up a lot.
It is. He's
Like
getting a lot
today,
of love.
TJ Watt was just like, or JJ Watt was like, Baker Mayfield's my guy. He's going to win the. And it's just, you know what it's like. It builds momentum, man. And I think Baker, he might be the guy. If they continue to win and he does the job, he's getting recognition where everybody. You need everybody to kind of get on board to kind of force your hand. We're like, oh, everybody says this guy's the MVP, and so far he's been getting it. So I think somebody outside of those guys will do it.
I'm lower on this, but I agree. Like, it is a PR train people get on. But I'm not counting out Josh Allen. And I'm not, like this
And
guy.
Mahomes is still there,
Same
man.
thing with Mahomes. Like, I'm not counting those two out because they're that good. And if you look at Allen after 2 subpar efforts in Buffalo, and if he decides to rattle off 8 wins in a row and just dominate like he did in the first 4 games, that's MVP.
He'll
for
win it.
me.
Yes, I
That's,
agree with
know,
you. Allen still scares me. Mahomes is now in the hunt, and now it's becoming this, like, wow, they're so resilient story, and if he puts up numbers and guys get healthy like Rashee Rice and others.
Right.
But Baker's in it. Danny Dimes is kind of lurking in the conversation.
Danny Dimes, eh?
I saw something today. I guess he was mic'd up for his last game, and he literally said nothing. And the Colts did a great job. They posted it and kind of emphasized the fact that the guy said nothing.
What do you mean said nothing?
Like, just played.
You could hear him breathe. That's
just
it.
There's nothing there. It just Danny Dimes is out there just playing, and everyone else is rah and talking over things, and Danny's just kind of sitting there nodding his head. But yeah, there's it. I'm going to say 49% because Allen's still there, Mahomes is there, but it's a long season, man. It's still October, right? Baker's been great. I've loved that story of Aaron Rodgers has been good. There's other guys that have been very good. Drake May is putting his hand up a little bit. Been great in New England. There's some really good stories right now. But the two big dogs are the big dogs for a reason, and you got to keep going through November and December, and they know how to do that, and that's what makes it challenging.
And Hayes, as far as like getting the recognition and people talking about you in the media, it's like if Allen, like his pump up tweets, it's times 10 compared to what Baker's going to get.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or Mahomes. It's like their pump ups, or it's just magnified where people will just forget about Baker. It's that guy now.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they're so good and they're so beloved that
Everything's on steroids as far as the
Yes.
recognition.
to the point where exactly there'll be some voters that'll say, I can't give it to Baker. Look at this guy. It's Josh Allen. Look what he's doing. Or Patrick Mahomes. Or whatever. All right, Jerry, what else you got?
I see the blue and white disease is alive and well surrounding Easton Cowan. But Jerry thinks it's going to stick because he won't play one game for the Marlies this season.
It's a bold take from Geraldo. Very bold.
Not one game
Not
for the
one
Marlies.
game for the Marlies for Easton Cowan.
Man. I'm going to have to just base this off of what I've seen him do. And I'm going to say 80%. That's all I can base it off of. He doesn't look like an AHL player. So I'm going to say 80% he doesn't play for the Marlies. Until he shows me something else, and it could fade, I'll change my percentage. But through 2, I'm giving him 80%. He sticks with the big club.
I am 41%.
Okay.
I knew it was coming.
All right. That's kind of in the middle, though.
It is.
There's some indecisiveness there.
Here's why, though. Tree has been talking about acquiring a top 6 forward. If he ends up acquiring one, that pushes everybody down, right? And if he gets pushed down, it comes back to the conversation we had at right at 4 o'clock, saying if he plays 8 minutes, and doesn't do much, like it's a learning curve for him. He might spend a weekend with the Marlies just getting some reps if Lorenz comes back and there's other players moving around and all of that type of stuff. There's no guarantee. Right now it looks great, and I would say 100% just based on what I've seen in 2 games. But it's 2 games against teams that weren't playoff teams. We'll see what the next step is when you play some of the big boys, and if he holds up. That's my thing. It's a long season for him.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why.
Well, and he's played 2 home games. He hasn't even played a road game yet.
Right. Matchups, all of that.
You're right. There's a lot that he has to continue to prove. But
Markers, yeah.
Nick Robertson, I don't know if he's going to be here long term.
Right.
Is Cal Yarncroke going to stay healthy? That's another element to it. It may be a scenario where yes, he moves down, but if they don't have other options, he's going to keep playing. So I'm going to say 55%. I'm just into the majority. 55. Like Craig Berube pumping his tires, and again, he's not 18. Like he can go down to the minors, no waivers, that's fine.
Right.
But 20-year-olds play in the league. Like they do play in the league.
They're allowed to be good too.
Yeah, they're allowed to play, and they're allowed to continue to prove that they should play. So it's been